where babies are like rare treasures, there's one country facing a big surprise: South Korea. With its catchy K-pop tunes and beautiful scenery, skyscrapers, and neon lights, you'd think everything's peachy, right? But there's a twist as a quieter crisis unfolds, one that threatens the very fabric of South Korean society. Behind the glossy facade of modernity and bustling metropolises, a complex interplay of social, economic, and cultural factors is profoundly transforming South Korea's demographic landscape. With a birth rate of just 1.7, every upcoming generation will be less than half of its previous generation. This low birth rate, however, gives birth to some intriguing questions, like what is driving this fertility crisis? Is it the relentless pace of modernization which has reshaped the priorities of its citizens? Or are these the economic pressures and soaring living costs that drive young couples away from starting families? In this video, we'll try to find answers to these questions. But before we start the story of South Korea's fertility conundrum, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel so that we can keep you updated about such interesting national and global issues. Now, let's take a step back and explore how South Korea's population story began. South Korean society, actually, was deeply rooted in Confucian beliefs, which placed a strong emphasis on family and community. So traditionally, families were big, often with several generations living under one roof. These tight-knit communities thrived on the values of respect, loyalty, and harmony. And in the early 20th century, South Korea had one of the highest birth rates in the world, with an average of over 6 children per woman. However, the tumultuous aftermath of World War II and the Korean War presented formidable challenges, casting a shadow over South Korea's demographic trajectory. Despite widespread devastation and economic turmoil, South Korea embarked on an extraordinary journey of reconstruction and renewal. Against all odds, the nation experienced a meteoric rise, achieving unprecedented economic growth and emerging as a beacon of resilience and innovation on the global stage. The 1960s and 1970s witnessed a resurgence in South Korea's population, fueled by the optimism of newfound prosperity. Families flourished, buoyed by economic opportunities and a vision for a brighter future. Yet as the 20th century progressed, seismic shifts began to reshape South Korean society. Rapid urbanization transformed the landscape, drawing millions from rural areas to bustling cities in search of livelihoods and opportunities. Furthermore, as women increasingly participated in the workforce and pursued higher education, the traditional family structure underwent profound changes. Notably, South Korea's fertility rate experienced a dramatic decline, plummeting from over 6 children per woman in the 1960s to just above 1 child per woman by the early 21st century. This shift reflects the intricate interplay of economic progress, social evolution, and cultural transformation shaping South Korea's demographic landscape. Economic pressures seem to be the largest contributor to the current dilemma. South Korea's sky-high living costs are no secret. From expensive housing to skyrocketing education and healthcare expenses, young couples are feeling the pinch. Seoul, the capital city, is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Housing prices have more than doubled over the past decade, outpacing income growth by a significant margin. It's not uncommon for young couples to spend a significant chunk of their income on rent or mortgage payments. Besides accommodation, educational expenses are another financial hurdle for young families. With its highly competitive education system, private tutoring and extracurricular activities are becoming the norm. The estimated average cost of living for a family of 4 is around $3,100. In comparison, the average after-tax individual income is around $2,400. So couples knowing the after-marriage struggles, couples often postpone family planning. The job market instability is further compounding these financial burdens. Precarious employment contracts, long working hours, and fierce competition create a pressure cooker environment. As per the Korea Labor Institute, nearly one-third of workers in South Korea are employed on temporary or part-time contracts, lacking the stability and benefits associated with full-time positions. Furthermore, South Korea has one of the longest average working hours, with employees clocking in an average of 1,908 hours per year. The intense competition for coveted positions adds another layer of stress, leaving workers anxious about their job security and financial stability. The job competition ratio reached a staggering 4.4 in 2021, highlighting the fierce competition in the labor market. So, the high cost of living and job instability for many young couples put on hold the dream of parenthood as they struggle to make ends meet. Besides these economic pressures, there are numerous social and cultural factors at play, which also dictate the low fertility rates. The women in South Korean society often have to share significant childcare and household responsibilities alongside their careers. However, the gender income gap, with women earning just 63% of what their male counterparts earn, also dictates the reproductive choices among young women. With 4.5 hours per day of non-paid care work as compared to 1.7 hours for men, women shoulder a disproportionate share of childcare and household responsibilities. This imbalance also hampers their desire for children. Also, in South Korean society, there's often a strong emphasis on marriage and family. From a young age, individuals are bombarded with societal expectations to find a partner and settle down. Surprisingly, despite these societal pressures, the marriage rate in South Korea has been steadily declining, because the traditional gender roles, with men being expected to be the primary breadwinners and women to be responsible for managing the household and childcare duties, limit both men's and women's choices and opportunities. The data reflects that more young people are choosing to delay marriage or remain single altogether. The marriage rates have crashed by 40% in just a decade. The decrease in marriages and births is further compounded by the steadily increasing average age of marriage and childbirth. In 2022, the median age at which South Korean women got married for the first time was 31.26 years, while that of men was 33.72 years. Also, the average age of women giving birth in 2023 reached a historic high of 33.6 years. The cost of wedding expenses is the primary barrier to marriage. Furthermore, religion, particularly Confucianism and Buddhism, used to play a significant role in influencing societal norms and values. However, in recent years, there has been a noticeable decline in religious adherence, with fewer people actively participating in religious practices. This shift away from traditional religious values has implications for family planning. With less emphasis on religious teachings promoting large families, individuals feel less compelled to adhere to traditional family structures. Surprisingly, environmental concerns are also now impacting family planning decisions. As awareness of environmental issues such as climate change and resource depletion grows, some individuals question the sustainability of having larger families. Interestingly, surveys indicate a growing trend of eco-consciousness among young adults in South Korea, with many expressing concerns about the environmental impact of their lifestyle choices. This shift in mindset is also contributing to a cultural shift towards smaller family sizes. Lastly, despite facing demographic challenges such as a declining birth rate and an aging population, South Korea maintains strict immigration policies, limiting the inflow of foreign migrants. Where these restrictions pose challenges in addressing labor shortages and supporting economic growth, they also contribute to a homogeneous population composition, which may further exacerbate demographic issues such as low fertility rates and population decline. Over the years, policymakers have implemented various initiatives aimed at encouraging childbirth and supporting families. These initiatives have included financial incentives, such as cash bonuses and tax breaks for parents, as well as measures to improve work-life balance, such as parental leave policies. However, despite these efforts, no significant results could have been achieved. There is a need for holistic policies that address not only the economic aspects, but also the social and cultural factors influencing family planning decisions. Greater investment in affordable housing, quality childcare, and flexible work arrangements is essential to create an environment conducive to raising families. Additionally, promoting gender equality and challenging societal norms surrounding marriage and parenthood are critical steps towards achieving sustainable demographic growth in South Korea. This was all for this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share your views in the comments section.